No big deal. It's
He had like
Destiny.
10,000 viewers in a matter of minutes.
He has 3,400. Oh, we are into Champ Select. This is craziness.
It is happening. Oh, and
So Slick, if you would hop back in, that would be
Slick
sweet.
is here. He is here. He is silent,
All right, cool.
but he is here.
I am
in
here.
Heart and soul. Oh, and he's speaking.
I think he would love to have you guys spam Destiny's chat also. But that's
All right,
okay
Max,
if you don't want to.
I am going to mute myself. You and Lex can.
Well, if you guys remember the movie Titanic, Incendiary Spade, PG-13 you're allowed to show nip. Okay, you can show nip.
But they have to be from some fat woman. That's the rule.
Well, I mean, look at me. I'm not exactly thin, right? Am I right?
Yeah, but you're at least better than Kate Winslet, in my opinion.
Well, it's not hard.
Nope. No, it's not.
I can't get into the Destiny chat to shamelessly plug us. My chat thing's messed up. I'm lucky enough to be in the chat that I'm in. I'm pretty excited. We're on this like the third page of Twitch. It's crazy.
Most of the time it'll block links.
Destiny's chat, though, it will not block links.
Yeah, no, yeah, he
That's
lets
why
his links
people
go.
spam in his chat is
Yep.
because he lets people link in his chat.
That's why I picked Destiny, because he has like a buttload of viewers, 3,400, and he lets people put links, and you definitely increase.
No, here's how you do it. Banner, change the title to Voy Boy, learn to top lane.
Yeah, don't do that. All right, so now we have the first new pick is Kale. So we have Galio out of
We also have
Darkness
Galio as
Dragon.
well, yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick right there.
His ult is pretty devastating. It will always have pretty good utility. I believe it's called Bulwark. And
Yeah.
I don't know. With the Hecarim, a Fear and a Bulwark will be pretty substantial late game.
It is called Bulwark, yep. That is right. His passive is also great. It can R into ability power. So he could just build really
these
tanky.
are the same picks that they had beginning of last time, correct?
Right. Oh, I have a connection error. Are you okay in there still?
I am still ready to go. Our last two picks were Kale and... Oh, I just got an active game was not found. I think they need to remake the game.
Yeah, this will be the third time. We're having a lot of fun. Someone is popping in and out of the channel. I think it's your mom. She's all over my channel. Horse Thief Jack. Oh, hey, look, I'm back in the game. It auto put me back in. That's pretty sweet. So I'm
yeah,
good.
that's what I was saying before. There is something wrong with the game that's been made, or at least by the differences in the client versions that we have, because it is bringing me automatically back into the game and then kicking me out saying there's no active game, and then it's bringing me back into the game. So we will see. But with the last pick I have coming up here is a Rise pick. Both Rise and Fizz can carry really hard late game. I think Rise scales a little bit better. Just because he is essentially a AP carry. He's, I mean, not in the typical sense, but in the fact that his abilities are always up. So we'll see how these two comps work together. What do you think about the team comps in general?
Yeah, well, the Rise pick, he's definitely a counter to Fizz, especially if you know how to play Rise. But if you remember last week, we casted a game where a player picked Akali and Fizz and dominated both games. That was Keisha Fabo, who is going to play against Fizz now. So I'm assuming that he has a really good understanding of how Fizz operates and that he's going to be able to handle that sufficiently. Mike Portnoy went Kale last game, did a great job top lane. So looking to see another good game out of him. It's going to be against a Galio, though, which is I think, a solid pick against Kale. It's an interesting top lane choice, but I think Kale's going to have trouble dealing. Well, it's not going to be able to kill Galio, I would imagine.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think a lot of this is going to be coming down to how they engage, on whether or not they let Nautilus get those Qs, or whether or not they're very timid and Hecarim gets a good dash.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are going to have great warding to prevent early lane level 6 lane ganks, I guess. Not super early. But we noticed the Caitlyn Soraka lane. We've seen that a lot from these two. Aeromax has played Caitlyn in all of the games of this tournament so far, which the previous 4 in this one, so that makes 5. Luna Knight played Ashe last game. but got beat pretty not pretty bad, but got beat handedly by Caitlyn. At least in terms of farm, neither one really made a play and got a kill, but farm wise, Kate was exceedingly better. So it's basically the same lane bot. The only switch up is Soraka for Sona, and that's just going to let Kate poke a whole lot. And I think they know that they could get away with that because they were able to deal with this matchup before because they did play Ashe Taric in the first game, or the first 2 games.
Which team do you think has the edge just in terms of summoners or champions right now? In our 1 minute delay, you have 1 minute.
It's a tough call. At first I thought Galio was going to go mid because I wasn't really paying attention to who picked him, but I was a little nervous for Digital Heretics, which is the purple team in this game, because of the Galio pick. But now that I see he's going top, if he plays safe, I think he'll be all right. I think he played a good game as Cho'Gath last game, so I'm kind of not unsure about why he picked up Galio. I think he's just afraid of dying to Kayle early. We did note that the first 2 games were both extremely close in terms of gold. Game 2, it did not look as close as I really think it was, but we do have to note Digital Heretics got stuck with the purple side again because I picked the number 2, so I apologize. Purple side does have a lower percentage win in ranked, unranked professional play, so there is that to take into consideration also.
That is true. I don't know what team you ended up settling on, but I think purple team definitely has a bigger advantage just with the Hecarim and the Galio all combined. They have really good poke, and they have really good sustain in lane. And then there's Ryze, who's really good late game. I think the other team, they have a Kayle. They can make somebody invulnerable with their ult, but I mean, if he does it to Ashe to keep her alive, she's not going to be dealing that much damage. She's more going to be kiting backwards. And Fizz is going to be jumping around doing his thing anyway. So I don't know. I just see that there's a lot more damage, a lot more power control coming out for purple team. Incendiary Spade also thinks purple team. But I would say that he's not allowed to think purple team. He has to say blue team because they have the king of crowd control Nautilus
the king
over there.
daddy.
That's right. Nobody better than him. Essentially, if you pick Nautilus, you win.
If Full On Fruta plays Astro Nautilus, it's going to be really tough for Digital Heretics to deal with it. I think, though, that definitely, even though they have the Nautilus CC, they don't really have... Ashe has her arrow, and Taric has his stun, which kind of is a little... Like, he becomes so lackluster late game. Even though Soraka is lackluster late game, if they have a really good laning phase, and Caitlyn's able to poke a lot more because of that Q, I think that Soraka is going to pay off in that respect. We do not have Astro Nautilus.
So does Taric as well, though.
Subterranean Nautilus is not even good as normal Nautilus. He's not even... he shouldn't even be really Nautilus. He should just be called like a miner at that point. But we have Emerald Taric again. And Aetherwing Kayle again. So we're seeing a couple of the same skins. We see Resistance Caitlyn again. But Uncle Ryze, he wants you for the League of Legends. So
I actually own the Uncle Ryze skin, and I want to return it.
That's sad. That's sad. Townsend again has not connected to this game, so we're gonna see. Hopefully they don't have to pause. There he is.
There he is.
He's just been having a little trouble. Everybody's been having a little bit of trouble all night. I think that they need to get a patch up. Ace Zap. I don't say Ace Zap. That's really gay. So no offense intended by my word Shazap. Everyone, I'm a giraffe. Nobody can. You can't even see them laugh at you because you're just up in the trees, bro. So don't even worry about those kids. You gotta do what
clip
you gotta
in
do.
the Hangover 3 where the giraffe gets decapitated?
Yeah, just duck. But I really, I hope you don't get decapitated. I just think as a giraffe, you shouldn't worry at the other animals on the Sahara laughing at your spots and your purple tongue and your long, long neck. Because they're fighting for scraps while you're eating out of the trees. Yeah, but the closest giraffe champion is a horse. So I don't know. Maybe we should See if Riot will make a giraffe champion for you. Or like Hecarim skin where he's a giraffe. That'd be sweet. Yeah, you give the fire department jobs. So again, we see a little bit of posturing, but Digital Heretics top lane is not going to come join the team, so we're probably not going to see an invade. If we remember in the last game, it was, I believe, Shinzemon, and he played Lee Sin, and he was extremely aggressive at shutting down the Amumu jungle. So Nautilus, while he clears faster now, he really needs to get to level 3 for his clear time to be efficient. So we might be able to see early counter jungling by Hecarim again. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Tarek go over and ward the red buff like he did last time, because that really saved Amumu from an early death.
Looks like blue side will be. Blue side will be starting golems, so that will be a big advantage for them if they continue on to do so. It does have the effect of putting the other AD carry ahead quite a bit.
Yeah, we noticed they did this last game too. And like I said, this is one of the first bot lane comps that I saw actually take the golems. Most of them just go to lane, and they took it efficiently. They did a better job than last time. The Tark took less damage, so they're just gonna go into the lane and see some normal things happening. I'm really excited to watch this this mid lane because while Ryze is considered a counter to Fizz. It really, this level 3 play from Fizz can be just really brutal. So we'll have to see how Ryze does. It looks like he's already has the better end of the poke exchange, as does Galio.
I also think a lot will depend on whether or not Caitlyn is able to get her poke off, simply because she has a Soraka, or whether or not the fear of the Taric stun will kind of even that out. You can already see Ryze bullying Fizz out early. This is going to be huge. I think that if Fizz, keeps his composure, and continues to just farm what he can, maybe take the race as often as possible, he'll be okay. But if he tries to make plays happen when he's behind, he'll just end up feeding.
Yeah, you make a good point. He really does need to take those wraiths because he is going to have trouble farming against Ryze, especially, after Ryze hits level 6.
We see a lot of poking going back and forth bot lane, and we see a lot of poking going back and forth mid game. Ryze did take a lot of minion damage there, so Fizz is not in as bad a position as he could. The CS is actually pretty atrocious in the mid lane because of the pokes. Bot lane, it's pretty even. Ashe has a slight advantage, but she does not have the Soraka to back her up. But she does have the potential to engage hard with a stun. And there we go. We see the stun going down on Caitlyn, and Ashe kind of being hesitant to engage.
Yeah, it's really risky. I mean, the poke from Caitlyn is going to be really good because of the Dorn's Blade she had, where Ashe isn't really going to be able to poke quite as hard. But the boots are going to allow her to dodge Caitlyn's Q, and hopefully with the stun and the boots, I mean, she can close the distance a little faster, stay safe, come up when the stun goes down, and do some damage. But Kate, as I say that, Kate is winning the exchange, and Tarek just doesn't stun anybody there.
Hey, as I said, there just seems a lot of poking going back and forth, but both. The only thing is that Soraka will have a mana advantage here, and she'll be able also to give her AD carry a little bit of mana advantage. And we might see, there's the barrier goes down, does negate the ignite from Ryze, but Fizz will have to go back, or he probably will die. He's leaving lane behind in 10 CS, so we are seeing the counter pick really playing into the factor here in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's huge. Ryze has really only used his mana pots, so he still has 4 health pots. Hecarim's coming top for a gank, and this is the type of ganking I'm talking about. We haven't seen Nautilus able to gank yet because he really needs to get to level 6 before an effective gank can come out of him, and that will pick up first blood top lane on Kale. So the Galio pick has worked out. I'm a giraffe. You are not silly. If you want to go Galio top and you are comfortable doing it, then you should do it because it can be done.
Right, and I'd also like to say, Incendiary Spade, you don't have to root for blue team. You have already unequivocally said that Nautilus is the king of crowd control and all champions, essentially. Basically, he can 1v5 and win the game, and that is what must happen for your opinion to be vindicated in my mind.
Even if Nautilus does gank mid, there's not much he can do. Ryze has his stun and his flash up, so I mean, he has a stun that comes off a cooldown quite a bit. Hecarim looks like he's thinking about ganking mid. No, he's just going to set up a ward so that he could counter gank Nautilus. And no, he's going to go in And my camera just keeps changing. I'm going to try and stay on Fizz. And Fizz face checks the bush onto Hecarim, and he's going to do a lot of damage. Hecarim, yeah.
No Platypus, not at all an exact 99% accurate, as I'm a Giraffe states. And what would a platypus know about such matters anyway? That is my comment. I am finished. But turning back down to the bottom lane, we do see that Kate is getting the advantage of those pokes, but she is behind in CS. She also has a Doran's Blade, so it's kind of interesting to see how this lane is going. You would think that Ash would be really intimidated out of a lot of the CS, but she's really not. She's really getting in there and getting those last hits she needs.
Yeah, I think now that Soraka's level 4 and she's got a couple points into her heal, she's got 2 into her heal and 2 into her mana, and she's probably just going to ignore Q until late game, which is how you see a lot of Sorakas played. But now that she has a lot of healing potential, especially at level 5, you're going to be able to see Caitlyn become more aggressive because anything that Ashe does is just going to be negated with that heal.
User left your channel.
And Platypus says, but platypi are wise and noble creatures. I would disagree, because if they were wise and noble creatures, they would have chosen to be a beaver like any normal beaver.
Yeah. I mean, really, as a wise and noble creature, how could you be a bird and a mammal?
Oh, hey, I'm gonna have a duck bill and swim underwater and
lay
do stupid
eggs.
stuff. No, they should have just became a. It's just blown, mind blown. There you go.
Worst.
You heard it here, folks. Platypus really are just wannabe beavers.
Yeah. Worst mammal NA.
Worst mammal NA goes to Platypus.
Yeah, we see Hecarim's gearing up to give blue to Ryze. It's going to be huge. Ryze really scales off of his cooldown and his mana, as do most AD carries, but I just think Ryze is already in such a strong position that by taking this... is Fizz going to take red? No, I'm not sure what's happening. I think he thought he was being invaded there, and he wasn't. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Fizz goes in on Ryze and can get himself into a sticky situation. He's got a Trickster out. It's got a relatively long cooldown. And so I think that Incendiary Spade did make the comment earlier that Keisha Fabo only has his champion pool, and there's the ult from Fizz, but it doesn't do any damage. Playful Trickster comes down. Here comes Hecarim, and so does Nautilus. They're both zoning properly, and there it is. Hecarim just zones out Nautilus, or I mean Fizz, whereas Nautilus is going to go under the turret
and the
die.
amazing crowd control of Nautilus barely picks up the kill. Oh wait, he didn't. He died under tower. But regardless, we see Ryze with blue. I don't know, did Ryze get that blue from his jungle, or did he get it from
he got it.
Killing Nautilus?
He got it from his jungle.
Okay. I was gonna say that exchange mid would have been a lot more significant had he picked up blue from Nautilus. But instead, it was just a simple exchange. You see, was it Digital Heretics, or what team is this? Is this the Arab Legion now?
Purple is Digital Heretics, and blue is the Arab Legion.
Yeah, okay, purple is the Arab Legion?
No, purple is Digital Heretics.
Okay, yeah, but Digital Heretics, all I'm trying to point out is that they do have a minor gold advantage. Actually, it's not even minor at this point. It's pretty substantial because of the better CS and the first 2 kills.
Yeah, I also want to point out, Incendiary Spade says, you aren't going to trick me into saying that jungle sucks, even if I think it. By saying that you're thinking it right now, basically means that you said it, so thank you. I'm sure you made Slick very happy. But no, Hecarim's speed just goes to show you, like, he pushed Fizz all the way out of that fight, and Fizz couldn't come back in, so Hecarim was able to just turn around, and they 2v1 Nautilus, because Nautilus could not zone Ryze as effectively as he wanted to. Incendiary Spade likes to run under turrets and lick sidewalks. There is nothing wrong with that.
That's the rumor on the street. And the rumor on the street is fairly accurate, since that's where he's licking sidewalks.
Nautilus did chase under the turret, but I don't think it would have made a difference. Fizz just stopped and stood there and was like, whoa, that horse is big. I come from the water and swim, and this land creature is crazy. Like, Fizz and Nautilus are an extremely good combo because they both like to be underwater. So I think that when they're fighting in the river, they'll do a much better job, I would hope.
We see Caitlyn efficiently zoned here by this Taric Ashe combo bot, but we'll see. Now she is ahead. It seems like whatever champion here is being better zoned has a slight lead in CS. So very strange bot lane at this point.
Yeah, we see that. I know Nautilus did die, but he was already behind CS when that counter gank happened. And here comes Hecarim. He's going to come in, and he's been going into this bush and play some wards. He's going to look to steal a red, or nope, he's coming down to gank. And Nautilus is not pinging his bot lane, so this is going to be devastating. Nautilus instead is afraid that he's getting jungle ganked, and here comes Hecarim with the ult right onto Caitlyn, or right onto Ashe. And Ashe has no escape mechanics, so she just needs to stand and fight. There's a barrier out of Caitlyn. I think that was a little preemptive, but I guess better safe than sorry.
I would agree with that. Very good gank. I don't think that was because of, I think it was because bot lane stayed too long, but they did get the kill, so they did get an even trade out of it.
Oh yeah, Tark did pick up a kill. I did not see that. Yeah, and Hecarim picked up that second kill, so Caitlyn will not get an advantage from that. Although I would say that the kill on Tark's not going to greatly help the Arab Legion anyways. It might get them the Sight Stone. I'm not sure he's backing right now. He should have enough.
I would also like to point out the wards for Digital Heretics here. They have 2 purple wards on bot side, basically covering any spot where Nautilus could gank from. So they do have better ward coverage, and they're going to know right where he's at pretty much at all times.
Yeah, this is the mobility of Hecarim that gets him banned. You see that Hecarim's in his own jungle taking red. He sees Ryze is in trouble. He pops his E. He sprints down, and he's able to zone Fizz out. And actually, Ryze probably wasn't even in all that much trouble, but he did get caught by Chum the Water.
We also see that Hecarim is ahead in the CS against Nautilus as well. So it's going to be... I don't know why Fizz flashed over the wall there. I guess they knew Ryze was coming, and they were both going to die pretty shortly. But you see, yeah, Hecarim, you're right. That mobility is what gets him banned. He is able to farm his jungle and have huge impacts in lane. He's 2-0-1 with 54 farm as compared to 0-1-0 with 43 farm as Nautilus.
Yeah, I got to give it to Nautilus. He is doing a good job of keeping up in farm. He needs to really, now that he's level 6, get down bot lane or top lane and just change something. He needs to come in and ult and make something happen. Otherwise, picking Nautilus is not going to pay off. You really have to get those lanes ahead early. And we see mostly not a whole lot stunning CS-wise. Ryze is doing a good job. And Kate and Ashe are dead even right now, so they're both doing a great job. Ashe did die. She is behind in XP, not very much, but just slightly.
I would also like to point your attention to at the bottom of your screen there. You see the Fizz and Ryze matchup. Ryze almost doubling the CS at this point. Probably not doubling, but pretty close. About 10 CS off of doing so. There we go. I got it. So the counter pick is still playing in pretty huge here, but Fizz has not died yet to Ryze. So the only person who did give him that kill was Nautilus, and I think it's pretty significant that Ryze is that far ahead. He needs to make that pick pay off because I think late game, mid game, Fizz will have some pretty good utility in team fights. But we'll see. Have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the summoners that Ryze picked. He took Flash, which is really standard. Then he took Ignite. I'm not a huge fan of the Ignite. There comes down a lot of crowd control, but Caitlyn still gets out. Nothing happens. Death Charge was used. Here comes Hecarim for the counter gank, and in they go. They're going to zone Luminite out, and here comes an ult, but it's blocked by Nautilus, so he is really good at crowd controlling.
Ryze is also coming down from mid lane, followed by Fizz, but it seems like he'll turn around and go back. They don't want to fight that. Well, Ryze turns back again, probably going to get there. He is. He's going to take the kill off on Taric and force the rest of the lane back.
Yeah, I don't know Hecarim. Yeah, he's probably not going to dive here. There's Fizz. Fizz is in a bad position, and it looks like he's probably going to go down too. No, Ryze does not follow up, and Hecarim will die to Fizz. There's the ult out of Nautilus, but it was wasted. There's no need to ult.
It was extremely late. He did not ult him during that fight or during the engage, but that's the problem, is that the hard engage of Hecarim makes it a lot easier to choose when to take those fights, and we really saw a problem, indecisiveness from blue team here on whether or not to take that fight or not.
Now, you saw that blue team had a great engage on Caitlyn, but she was able to get out with her net. What I was trying to point out right before Ryze wandered down was I was saying that I'm not a big fan of the Ignite on Ryze. I like to see him take a teleport. He could teleport bot, get that stun off, and pick up kills like crazy. It's really one of the big meta summoners on him right now. And as I said that, he had to walk all the way down, and we lost... We lost Hecarim. No, we lost... I'm not sure who we lost. Anyway.
We lost... I don't know who we lost. That's right.
Oh, there it is. Soraka. Soraka's gone. Soraka played solo last game and also disconnected the first game of the matchup. So whenever I think they disconnect, they win. It's crazy. But anyways, like I was saying, Ryze with teleport, he could come in and stun. And if he has teleport during that engage, he comes in a whole lot faster, does a whole lot more damage. Fizz isn't able to follow him up. So I really like to see Ryze's take teleport.
I agree with that. I think it'd be interesting to see a gank where Ash Arrow goes off first, followed by Depth Charge from Nautilus, but it just seems like they don't have the coordination to pull off something like that yet.
Yeah, you gotta remember, Nautilus, I mean, I know these guys, even as a team, don't play a whole lot together, but Nautilus was just picked up as a sub today. I don't even know if he goes to U of Cincy.
Oh, the scandals.
Yeah.
Playing in the U of Cincy tournament and not they're bringing in a ringer. Ringer
originally
Nautilus.
they actually...
I think that Nautilus is really Incendiary's babe.
They were trying to bring in I believe a gold 1 to replace a silver 5, and the rules as of this week have changed. You can only bring in somebody who is within 3 leagues, or who is 3 leagues above the player they're subbing for. So you cannot sub a platinum player for a bronze player. You cannot sub in anybody who is over platinum. So diamond players and those pesky challengers that we all love so much are out. So even if you talk Voyboy into playing for you, you can't have it happen.
I probably would look past it though, just in general, just so we could watch Voyboy play.
It would be fun to say you played with Voyboy. I'm even sure that the opposing team would be willing to take the loss just to say they got killed by Voyboy.
Incendiary Spade, I see also correcting us on the snares and stuns. We call everything a stun. We know that they are fundamentally different, but just for the ease of casting and ease of understanding, a stun is a stun. We could call it a snare, etc., but no reason to get into semantics unless we're talking about a specific ability.
Yeah, I do apologize. It just comes out of my mouth sometimes, so I cannot help it. I do know that they are different, and I do know that I say stun and I mean snare, so I apologize for that.
And Ruin Prison actually is a root, though. I mean, I guess if we're going to be technical.
So Soraka comes back in the game and immediately leaves again. So this game, maybe it's just not meant to be, but I feel like going back in and picking Purple Team as the favorite was definitely a good call. I think they have a better team comp. I think their jungle is paying off better, and I just don't think Nautilus is being active enough. He really needs to rely on his ganking. So I'm gonna call silences.
Is there a difference
stuns.
between roots interrupt and snares do not? Snares just hold you in place.
Yes, that is correct.
Like I believe the Lux Q is a snare.
Yes.
As opposed to like a Maokai, his ability is a root.
Yes. Yeah, if Maokai jumps on you, it will interrupt you. And then the stun, like Nautilus's auto attack, does stun, so it also interrupts, but you cannot attack or do anything while you're stunned. So Ash is offering terms of surrender right now. Says Galio says you guys should say we all win, and then we can all go to bed. And then Ash responded with, or you can surrender and we could go to bed. And Tarek says they have swag. But I would say Tarek is the anti-swag of the game. So I don't know. Rubies and gems
I disagree with that.
are not.
Tarek. Tark is fabulous. Let's be real here.
But is swag fabulous? Is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Oh, my
When
bad.
Tark wears it, it is.
I apologize.
Tark is made of swag. That's right, Platypus.
Wait, so he says so. Apparently, there is no
Duck-billed
difference,
son of a bitch.
but some of them interrupt. So then there is a difference. I'm so confused. Yeah.
Basically, he was basically stating that, calling it basically what I said earlier. A stun is a stun, whatever.
Right.
But some of them do interrupt, and we're just not necessarily making that distinction when we do call them that. But Rise's Rune Prism, for the record, is a root. It will interrupt.
Wow, everybody loves Tarek. I know he's fabulous, but I did not know he was swag. And there's
We do have Soraka
again.
coming back. Hopefully, she's here to stay.
Blue team wins, hands down. Tarek wins, and Maokai interrupts.
Even
So-
if they lose the game, they technically win because Tarek is fabulous.
He is fabulous. I would love to see Tarek top lane. You could do it too. He's so strong.
Our top lane is pretty fabulous.
I'm afraid of the imager coming in here, but we'll bring it up because we don't have anything going on right now. When I'm stad, I stop being stad, and I be fabulous instead. Barney Stinson is the man, and if Tarek can quote him, then I guess I gotta give Tarek some love. I do have a background that cycles on my computer. It scares me often. It is Pink Tarek. I kind of want to share it with you
I
guys.
think Tarek wants to give you some
Can
love.
I share Pink Tarek with you guys? It is not porn, but it is gay.
It is pretty close.
Let me find it.
As close as you're gonna get.
Well, you probably get closer, but I'm not gonna
True,
take you
touche.
closer. Here it comes. Here it comes. There is the Tarek background. He is fabulous, and he is half naked. And that is all you get, just the sample. Here comes the unpause. I'm just gonna make it a little bit. Yeah, Tarek, fabulous. Don't ask why
There we go.
I have
And
that.
immediately snaps us back down to mid here. Rise still has his blue buff, which is important to note, and it looks like Galio may go down top lane. No, he just outlasts that Ignite, but Hecarim is top lane. Hecarim seems to be everywhere. That's kind of what he does. He will pick up the kill here on Kale, unless he gets slowed.
Oh man.
He does not pick up the Kale, top lane kill on Kale. He's just going to sit there and shove the lane to tower while Kale backs.
You know, that's okay. That's a smart decision. I think that he could have dove the turret there, but he's not overly tanky quite yet. So he needs to pick up some more tanky items so that he can go under the turret and pick up Kale. But if you notice, he was way in his jungle again when Galio got in trouble, and his map awareness and presence in lane is just making it. I don't understand the reason he went in under the turret or Nautilus there. So that befuddles me. But Galio was in a lot of trouble, and my whole point was Hecarim came out of nowhere to save his butt.
Yeah,
Rise is back
basically,
bottom, and he
Nautilus
just
landed the Q. That's why he was stunned under tower for so long. Got the Q, the auto tag off, and the slow. He just didn't use his ult on him. So we did get to see some chains of CC there, but as I said, it was one target, and it did end up leading to a kill for Fizz, but not directly. I do not think that was directly because of the actions of Nautilus there.
right. If you saw bot lane, Tarek, or not Tarek, I'm sorry, Tarek just barely gets away with his life, but Rise coming in with a lane gank, and he's able to just stun and burst Ashe into the ground. So she dies, and then he's going to go back up mid. He is fearless, coming right through the jungle. He's going to run into Fizz. No, Fizz turns. Rise has 2 levels on Fizz and 40 CS, so Fizz is in a lot of trouble right now.
What do you think about the builds from the 80 carries here? It seems like Ashe went for a quick Zeal and Boots, where she has a pickaxe. She does not have the damage output that Kate is going for here. They have equal CS and the same amount of kills, which is 0. And Caitlyn has the BF Sword Vampiric Scepter with no boots and Adorn's Ring. What do you think about that exchange? Do you think Kate is going to get better of these engages because of the higher damage, or do you think it's going to be Ashe with the higher attack speed?
Well, I think Ashe might be looking to kite with her Q. That could be one reason she took it, so that she could stay alive and run. She's definitely. I don't think she's going to get the better of the exchanges quite yet without the damage. In the last game, not the first game, the second game of the series, Ashe did go for a Bloodthirster first, a very quick Bloodthirster, and Caitlyn opted to go Infinity Edge, and it paid out in her favor as she just did terrible amounts of damage. And so I'm not sure that I agree with the Zeal. Maybe she couldn't afford the BF sword, and she wanted to buy something. So I'm not 100%
Well, I mean, if
sure.
you look at their builds, she's about 40 AD behind the Caitlyn, but yet her attack speed is probably around 40% faster. So while she's not going to be dealing as much damage, she's going to be dealing it a lot quicker. And in addition to her crowd control ult, it may actually be the better decision. I will have to see how it pans out. I've not actually looked into whether or not going Zeal with a pickaxe is more efficient than a low farm BF build.
Well, one thing I think you have to take into consideration is the mechanics or the kits of the champions, and it does not help her there.
Rise come down here and melt Ashe before Hecarim could even get his hit on it. Fizz ult does slow down Hecarim, and there will just result in a double kill.
Yeah, and this is going to give him a dragon and possibly a bot turret. I'm not so sure they have time for a bot turret. Maybe just shove up some lanes, but it is an easy dragon for them, and nobody wants to last hit it. But there's the smite from Hecarim. They're going to go in and try and dive Fizz under this turret. It looks like. Oh no, Fizz is caught out.
And here we go. We see the ult from Hecarim doing a strong engage on the Fizz here. We know he doesn't have his ult. And there you go. There's the disengage from the Nautilus ult, but what really did that get them? Now they're both ults down, and Nautilus has a Q and a slow.
Yeah, and this turret is free, even with the Ashe stun. What is he gonna do? There's not enough damage. Ashe doesn't. I mean, like you said, she might do as much damage if they stand and fight, but you got to really take into consideration Caitlyn's Piltover Peacemaker, just the range and the poke on it, and the BF sword is going to benefit that so much more than attack speed would. Now, late game, Caitlyn really does have to rely on attack speed because her abilities are lackluster. But for right now, I think that the BF sword is definitely the way to go for Caitlyn.
Just to be specific here, we're not pointing out the differences in the Hecarim and the Nautilus simply because we had that conversation earlier. It's because Hecarim is having a humongous impact on this game, whereas I don't believe Nautilus has really making his presence felt here. He has 1 assist as opposed to 2 kills and 3 assists for Hecarim, meaning he's been around all over the place, and in addition to that, he has 2 more CS, so he's not lost any jungling time either, because that's usually the trait. There you go, you get a grab off on Rise, he does get there, it will essentially crowd control Rise to death, then Bulwark goes down, but they just don't have the damage, and they don't have the continued crowd control.
Yeah, actually, I think Bulwark is his shield. I think I was wrong about that earlier. I'm going to check. His
Bulwark,
ultimate is Idol of
okay.
Durand. So... Durand. But yeah, I mean, it looked like it was going to be a favorable trade in the for Arab Legion, but it ended up not. They just couldn't finish off Galio. He's probably not
without Hecarim, most notably.
Yeah, he's probably not the best target to focus. They did a great job of focusing down Rise before he could do damage, but there's the heal from Soraka, and like. Soraka is often a champion that has trouble late game, but that heal was easily 25% of Galio's health. He does have to flash, but he would be dead.
There you go. There is the re-engage from the Q. A beautiful Q. They stayed too long there at that point. And the Taric stun should finish off the Caitlyn here.
That was
I'd
actually...
like to note that even with all the CC from the Nautilus, it still took the Taric stun to get the kill.
Actually, that was the Nautilus auto attack stunned. It puts down a target underneath him, so Nautilus did I'm not going to shortchange him. But
no, the stun that resulted in the kill was the Taric stun.
I'm not sure about that. I think that he hit him and the target appeared and he stunned him and let Taric get within range. But Taric's going to come back out and just die to Rise. Oh no, there's Chum the Water. Rise is too deep. Fizz has to Playful Trickster out and things go to normal. The tank takes his position in the front instead of the AP carry. But that's one thing about Rise is he builds a lot of health and mana and he scales really well off of them. And so he gets kind of tanky in himself. So if you look, the picks that we have out of Digital Heretics is fairly tanky, with the exception of Soraka and Caitlyn.
And Soraka really just helps people be more tanky with the ability to sustain them with health. So, I mean, maybe they put a lot more thought than we were originally given credit for into this team comp.
Yeah, you know, in game 2, we saw that this split push, Kale split pushed and just took this turret bot, and Digital Heretics did not respond properly in that game. But this time,
Heretics, I'm sorry.
Because Kale was bottom, they were able to go and take that mid turret, and that is worth even Galio dying. So Joe Nagy, wow.
That is quite the name.
That is quite the name.
Rock back, you're going to push while Tarek is warding. Close encounter there. It looks like Caitlyn is the only one here to defend this tower. I'm not sure how that's going to work out against 4 of blue team members here.
Yeah, Rise is
and Fizz is going to go right in on top of him, but Rise is going to follow up and maybe get the bind down. He actually had it selected, but his character hesitated when Fizz made round at the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it was the best decision for them to back off from that turret. I think they probably could have taken it, but I guess the CS was cleared out there, so my bad. Hecarim's just too deep right now, and this is a problem that a lot of players get, is he was so far ahead that he thinks he could take on the world, and it's costing his team the game. There's a beautiful Q from Nautilus, and Rise is going to die, and right now Digital Heretics needs to get themselves under control, calm down, and just start playing their game, because they are still ahead. They're ahead in kills and gold. Rise is way ahead of the other carry. Caitlyn is fairly even with Ashe still. Ashe has an edge. Down goes the purple team turret, but in comes the Idol of Duran. And nobody's going to help Galio.
It does do a decent amount of damage, but the problem here is that Hecarim, as you said before, was just too deep. He cost his team that team fight, that tower, and now his team is just showing a real lack of discipline. Here comes Hecarim. He's going to ult in and hopefully pick up a kill here. I don't know how I feel about using the ult right there. It doesn't result in a death, but I think if they would have turned on Hecarim, they probably could have killed him.
Yeah, he's just not tanky enough right now. He's stopped farming in the jungle. He's 3-3-3, so he's still a little bit ahead of Nautilus. But those last couple of fights really turned around. Digital Heretics.
Those last couple of fights, Hecarim wasn't even a part of. Hecarim was running through their base after taking, right near that inhibitor, and almost died to the Fizz, and then he ended up dying to the Kale in the jungle. I mean, he's really just not. He's busy running around. There's just a lack of discipline from the Hecarim here, but I still think he gives them a great advantage.
Yeah, I think he needs to calm down. He was doing a great job of being everywhere early game. I think he needs to be with his team more now. He could split push and then regroup with the team, but he definitely needs to stay out of the enemy jungle and pay attention to his minimap so he stops giving up needless deaths.
It does look like Purple Team will pick up a dragon here.
Yeah, they've been extremely good at taking every single dragon. I think they gave up, was it one last game? So messages were wiped because of a really, really ignorant comment and a really dirty name. The name was actually really bad. The comment, when you ban somebody, it removes the comment, but it does not remove their name. So
usually when your name contains a reference to certain bodily fluids, you'll most likely end up getting a ban, but this isn't my chat. You know, I let anything fly in my chat. This is let's try to keep it somewhat respectful here, even though, you know, the names may or may not allude to true events. Sorry, Joe.
Hey, I mean, what you do in the privacy of your own car, that's your business.
Well, yeah. What your mom actually does in the privacy.
I say that because he did live in a car for a couple days. I think it's funny. It should be sad, but I think it's funny. So we have a good siege going down. There's the Idol Duran.
Idol down.
It's a great engage. It forces out a flash, and there's the Nautilus E, but the positioning of Rise
with some added CC, but the positioning of Purple Team seems really good here.
Yeah, I think Rise was a little out of position, and it's going to cost him a fight, though. I like the engage from Darkness, but they're just going to get aced here because of it. Rise needs to cool his jets, and he saw.
Well, it was really good engage from I believe from the Galio, who actually did end up getting away, so that's kind of odd. But you see, Rise was the first one to die, and if Rise is the first one to die, you are not doing a whole lot of damage. I think that really, if Darkness is going to engage like that with Galio, it has to be followed up by a quick Hecarim ultimate, and then the AP and the AD carries can come in from the back and really do the damage they need to do. But the way they engaged the last time was just very poor positioning.
Yeah, and you could tell the gold difference right now is, I mean, it's closed, But you could tell that last fight really closed the gap, because right now, before they went back and bought, they really struggled taking that Baron. And actually, Hecarim got pretty close to trying to come in and smite it. So, I think that this could be the turning point. Definitely, Digital Heretics needs to be extremely careful while this Baron buff is on the Legion.
I do see that. I do think that the game is actually pretty even at this point. I would still give a slight advantage to Purple Team, even though they do not have Baron, because they have that inhibitor turret down. And I think it's something like if the first inhibitor leads to a win 80% of the time, they don't have the inhibitor yet. But I think that they could pick it up if they defend properly here. But it's they're gonna need to refine how they used Galio's ult in addition to the Hecarim ult.
You know, I would really like to see a similar push out of Digital Heretics, where they push them and they siege, and they just buy some time for Hecarim to go top and push down that turret, because that turret is really annoying me. It's been up forever, and I think it will give a lot of map control to Digital Heretics if they take it down. Plus the